This is a very special occasion for us. We are honoring a promise. In honor of all those who have lost loved ones to gun violence, the Congress sends to the President now our nation's first major gun safety legislation in 3 decades. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act includes key House proposals to combat gun violence, including by banning straw purchases, Congresswoman Robin Kelly's legislation, moving to close the boyfriend loophole, which we have all been advocating, even in the Violence Against Women Act. Sheila Jackson-Lee was going to be joining us, and encouraging states to establish extreme risk protection order laws, legislation advanced by Congresswoman Bath and Congressman Carbajal. Thank you both for that. The chairman of the Task Force on Gun Violence Prevention has been the source of ideas throughout all of our legislation. He is the author of the bipartisan background check legislation, as is Mr. Clyburn, the auxiliary legislation to that. We still want to work to pass that, but his leadership has been so important in channeling the energies, the ideas, the urgency of gun violence prevention for a long time now in the Congress. He would agree that our spiritual leader in all of this, our inspiration, is Congresswoman McBath. She has been a voice of concern, a voice of reason, and a voice of acceptance of this legislation. Because, of course, we always want more, but when she said that this was important, an important step forward, then that was the message we all had. Not to judge the legislation by what it does not do, but to respect it for what it does. And what it does is save lives. So now I'm honored to sign the legislation, to send it to the President right away for his signature, with gratitude for his leadership in gun violence prevention for decades. Thank you. Now let's show you what this is here. These words are words of protection for America's children. When you think that violence, more than cancer, more than car accidents, or anything, you know how important this legislation is. Mr. Chairman, would you like to say something?
I'll say thank you, Madam Speaker. You are the real inspiration for making this happen. If it had not been for your leadership and your vision, we wouldn't be here today. And most certainly, our colleagues who are with us today were just an incredible team to allow us to come together. The bills that we passed a week and a half ago out of the House provided, I believe, the motivation and the encouragement for the Senate to pass this bill. It was a team effort. We could not have done it without us all working together, along with all of the outside groups who have dedicated their lives, their everyday activity to making sure that we save lives. So thank you.
Thank you, Will. I accept your kind words on behalf of the House Democrats, and I was so glad that we had a very strong bipartisan vote today. But I take issue with why we are here, because I was here in 1994 when we passed the Brady bill under the leadership of the President, then Senator, Mr. Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Joe Biden. And it was hard. It was really hard. Now, and Chuck Schumer was our leader in the House on the legislation, and now, of course, he took the lead in the Senate on this legislation, working with a bipartisan group. So this fresh energy of new people in the Congress has brought us this long overdue legislation, and chief among them is Congresswoman McBath.
Well, I have to truly say I'm so completely honored. I never in a million many years thought that I would ever be in Congress, but I know that my son Jordan and so many others like him have really propelled this moment. And I know that the angels in heaven are singing over all of the great work that our colleagues in Congress in a bipartisan fashion have done to really, really make sure that every family, every individual in this country can live freely without unnecessary gun violence. And today, we have done that very thing.
And we talk a great deal about some of the mass murders that have taken place and how shocking it is and how we're in a moment of silence and prayers, but really haven't done too much about it. Congresswoman Kelly talks about what happens every day on the streets of our country with her straw purchase legislation cutting into that.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker. We could not have done this without your driving force, but there are many happy parents in the city of Chicago. Over 60% of our crime guns come from outside, and in New York it's over 84%. So I'm thrilled that we have a trafficking piece and store purchasing piece, but I'm more thrilled that we're doing more than thoughts and prayers, and we are proving that as a Congress under your leadership that we can do that. So thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Carvajal was very instrumental, and well, he'll tell you about it. The red flag laws with Congresswoman back.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And certainly today is a major step forward in saving lives. And certainly red flag laws do work. They're proven that they're effective. And this is going to do a lot to save people's lives, whether those that wish to harm themselves or harm others. And so this is a major step forward, and I want to thank you, Speaker, for your leadership and the rest of my colleagues that are here who worked hard on this issue and making sure it got to the finish.
Thank you. Well, now we're going to quickly leave here so that this bill can be taken to the President for his signature so that it can become the law of the land. Thank you.